See what you did, Stephanie? Do you see the problems you have brought upon this team with your antics this season, Stephanie White?
Look, what Stephanie White did this season, it wasn't just a misstep. It wasn't a minor mistake. It was a full-blown miscalculation that shook the very foundation of the Indiana Fever. And at the center of it all, Lexie Hull. Yes, Lexie Hull. The heart, the soul, the relentless engine that's kept this team running, day in and day out, through thick and thin. Let's be real, Basley fam. Everyone's talking about Kelsey Mitchell, contracts, and wins. But there's a problem no one's addressing. Stephanie White's treatment of Lexie Hull, a player who gives everything, every hustle play, every clutch shot, every lockdown defense, is benched, ignored, and undervalued. That's not coaching, that's neglect. And here's the kicker. Lexie Hull is a free agent this summer. The very player carrying this team, building trust and wins, could walk away, not for greed, but because she hasn't been respected. Teams like Portland, Seattle, and even contenders are watching, ready to offer contracts and starting roles that Indiana failed to give. Before White arrived, the core of this team wasn't just Clark, Mitchell, or Boston. It was Lexie Hull, defensive anchor, glue, unspoken leader. She sacrificed stats, glory, and recognition for the team, and yet she's been marginalized. That's the real crisis. Then White arrived with her grand plan. Big promises, big vision. Her first move? Dira Bonner, max contract, starting spot, and Lexie Hull shoved to the bench like she didn't exist. Imagine being Lexie. You've poured your soul into this team, earned every ounce of trust and respect, and suddenly, someone else gets priority. Someone who hasn't proven herself yet. That cuts deep, and it gets worse. Bonner didn't even show up. No effort, no accountability. Meanwhile, White spun a story to the cameras that everything was fine. The truth? Far from it. Who stepped up? Lexie Hull. Again, clutch shots, lockdown defense, leadership that held the team together. Yet she was benched again. Think about the psychological impact. Confidence is built on respect, destroyed by repeated disregard. Lexie saw it firsthand. Her contributions ignored, her place sidelined, while others who hadn't earned it got the spotlight. What message does that send to the team? Loyalty doesn't matter. Hard work doesn't matter. Only the coach's ego does. Now the stakes are real. Lexie Hull's performance has caught every team's eye. She doesn't need to be the star, doesn't need plays drawn for her. She just needs to be allowed to do what she does best. Everything that makes a team competitive. Defensive anchor, relentless hustler, leader, difference maker. Indiana risks losing her, and the moment they fail to see her value, someone else will step in, giving her the respect, minutes, and contract she's earned. Let's look at the numbers for a second. In July, at the peak of the season, Lexie couldn't even get 20 minutes a game. 15, 18, 14 scraps. The team desperately needed what she provided, and yet she was sidelined for experiments, trying out new lineups, prioritizing players who hadn't earned it, all while ignoring the one player who had. That's not coaching, that's mismanagement. That's endangering your own season because you can't see what's right in front of you. So here's the reality check. If you're in Indiana and you think Lexie Hull will just accept a discount contract, that you can quietly keep her around without honoring her worth, think again. Free agency is coming, and she's going to have options. Guaranteed starter spots, serious contracts, teams that will publicly and privately acknowledge her value. And Indiana? They'll be scrambling, realizing too late that the core of their team is walking out the door. And let's not forget the emotional weight here. Lexie Hull isn't just a player. She's a warrior, playing through injuries, putting her body on the line, doing all the gritty work that doesn't show up in the highlight reel. And yet, the very leadership that should recognize her sacrifice kept her on the bench. That's a betrayal, plain and simple. Stephanie White's choices this season didn't just affect one player. They sent a message to the entire roster. If someone like Lexie Hull, selfless, hardworking, proven, can be disregarded, what hope is there for anyone else? What does that do to morale? Chemistry? Loyalty? All of it suffers, and the longer the organization fails to correct it, the higher the risk that Lexie will take her talents somewhere else, where they are truly appreciated. This isn't just speculation, it's evidence. Game after game, moment after moment, Lexie Hull proved herself. And game after game, White's rotations undermined her. But the league noticed, and if Indiana doesn't act decisively, they will lose her. Not because of money, not because of ego, not because she wants to leave, but because respect matters more than loyalty when it's been repeatedly denied. Here's the bottom line. Stephanie White has created a crisis for the Indiana Fever. It's a crisis of recognition, a crisis of trust, a crisis of fundamental understanding of what makes teams win. And Lexie Hull? She has every right, every reason, and every opportunity to walk away and find a team that actually values what she brings to the court every single night. The question now isn't just whether Kelsey Mitchell stays or goes. The real question is, will Lexie Hull finally get the recognition she's earned? Or will Indiana watch one of the league's most valuable, selfless, and irreplaceable players leave because of negligence, ego, and a coach's failure to see what's right in front of her? Now, Basley fam, take a deep breath and picture this. Lexie Hull, after everything she's done, is stepping into free agency. Not just any free agency. The kind where every team in the league is watching, analyzing, planning, and they're not watching for fun, they're watching for opportunity. Because a player like Lexie doesn't come around often. A player who sacrifices, hustles, locks down opponents, elevates every teammate around her, and consistently performs in clutch moments. That's gold in this league. Literal gold. And here's what's terrifying for Indiana. Portland Fire, Seattle Storm, contending teams looking to add that missing piece. They're circling. They're ready to pay top dollar. Guaranteed minutes, starting roles, and public recognition. Everything that should have been provided by Indiana in the first place. And why? Because Stephanie White failed to see what the rest of the league sees every single night. Let's break it down. Portland is building from scratch. Culture setters, leaders, players who bring more than just stats. Lexie Hull fits that mold perfectly. Seattle Storm is retooling, looking for veterans who play the right way. Lexie is their exact blueprint. And contending teams? They're capped out, maybe struggling in certain areas, but they know a player like Lexie can tip the balance, transform a solid squad into a true championship contender. Indiana? They've been sitting on this talent, ignoring it, wasting it, and it gets personal. Let's talk about the comparison, the cruel irony. Stephanie White has no problem handing big promises to newcomers. Dira Bonner got the max contract and a starting spot before playing a single meaningful game. Natasha Howard? Promises of MVPs, minutes, opportunities. Lexie Hull? Silence. Scraps. The back burner. Relegated, while others who haven't earned a shred of that trust are given everything. Think about the psychological weight here. Lexie Hull has been watching, giving her all, only to be ignored repeatedly. That's not just frustrating, it's demoralizing. It's a subtle, ongoing message. Your contributions don't matter. Your loyalty doesn't matter. Your sacrifices don't matter. And for a player who's proven herself time and time again, that message cuts deep. It fuels a decision she's been resisting, maybe even dreading. But every slight, every benching, every ignored performance is building a case in her mind. Maybe it's time to leave. Now, Basley fam, picture the league landscape. Lexie Hull steps into negotiations, and every GM knows her worth. Starter money, guaranteed role, recognition. They know her value. And Indiana? They're facing a harsh reality. If they want her back, they must match these offers, or risk watching the player who's carried them through thick and thin walk out the door. And it's not just about contracts. It's about respect, public acknowledgement, core team commitment. Lexie Hull isn't just another free agent. She's a linchpin. The moment you fail to honor her contributions, you risk dismantling the very foundation of your team. Let's talk data. Minutes, contributions, impact. July, the heart of the season. Lexie Hull couldn't even hit 20 minutes a game. Coaches experimented with lineups, prioritized unproven players, and the team struggled defensively. Meanwhile, the player who could stabilize everything? Benched. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern. And that pattern tells a story. White valued vision over reality, plan over performance, ego over the player who had proven herself indispensable. Contrast that with the newcomers, Bonner, Howard. Handed opportunities, contracts, hype. Lexie? Marginalized. Loud, clear, and visible to the league. Portland sees it. Seattle sees it. Contenders see it. They're ready to reward the loyalty, hustle, and work ethic Indiana ignored. And here's the irony. Lexie doesn't need the spotlight. She elevates teammates, locks down scorers, hits clutch shots, fills every gap. Plug her in anywhere, and the impact is immediate. She's a strategic weapon, locker room leader, morale booster, defensive anchor, yet treated like an afterthought. That's not mismanagement, that's negligence. Free agency isn't just a formality, it's a battlefield. Lexie Hull knows her worth. Indiana has already shown it's undervalued. If they fail to act, chemistry, morale, trust, and the franchise's credibility all suffer. Lexie Hull is the heartbeat of the Fever. She's fought, sacrificed, and led through adversity. The league will reward her if Indiana doesn't. Portland, Seattle, contenders, they'll see her value and pay for it. Indiana, they'll scramble, wondering how they let a cornerstone walk. Promises to newcomers mean nothing. Bonner quit. Howard underperformed. Lexie delivered. Every game, every minute. Yet she's treated like she doesn't matter. That's not just poor coaching. It's a failure to understand what builds champions. You don't bench your hardest working, most reliable player. You protect and reward her. Now Indiana stands at a crossroads. Match Lexie's value, financially, strategically, publicly, or watch her leave. Fans, teammates, front office, they all need to grasp the stakes. Lexie isn't replaceable. She turns good teams into great ones. If Indiana fails, it's more than losing a player. It's a fracture in trust, loyalty, and the foundation of the franchise. Lexie knows her worth. After a season of repeated disrespect, she won't settle. Every negotiation, every offer, every call will reflect her value. Indiana can rise to meet it, or watch her leave. And there's no going back. Picture it. Calls from Portland, Seattle, even capped-out contending teams, all seeing the missing piece in Lexie. Guaranteed starter minutes, public recognition, contracts that reflect not only her skill, but her sacrifice, her leadership, her relentless work ethic. And Indiana? They can't just assume loyalty. Loyalty is earned. And after this season, Indiana has offered her nothing that speaks to respect, acknowledgement, or her cornerstone role. Let's rewind. July, the heart of the season. Indiana's defense struggling, momentum stalling. Lexie Hull on the bench, 15, 18, 14 minutes per game, while new lineups are tested. The team needed her. Every defensive assignment, every dive, every clutch play demanded Lexie's presence. And what did she get? Ignored. Meanwhile, newcomers received maximum opportunities before proving their worth. They're a Bonner, Natasha Howard, promises, minutes, hype, delivery. Bonner quit. Howard underperformed. And Lexie Hull, the player who's always delivered under pressure, who sacrificed everything, who embodies this team, what does she get? Silence, bench scraps, disregard. Now, let's talk consequences. Basley fam. The moment free agency opens, the moment Lexie Hull evaluates offers, Indiana could lose one of the most selfless, hard-working, and impactful players in the league. And not to some minor team. Contenders are circling. Teams with the money, the vision, and the appreciation for a player like Lexie. They will throw contracts, starting roles, and respect at her. Indiana? They'll have only themselves to blame if they fail to act. Picture this. Seattle Storm calls. Guaranteed starting role. Max contract. A system built around hustle, defense, intensity. Everything Lexie embodies. Or Portland Fire. Building from scratch. Needing a culture setter, a leader, someone who transforms skill into accountability. Lexie steps in, fits seamlessly, and turns a good team into a playoff contender. That's not speculation. That's the inevitable outcome if Indiana keeps mishandling this. But here's the alternative. If Indiana acts now, Stephanie White and the front office can secure Lexie Hull. 3 moves. 1. Offer a contract that matches her value. 2. Guarantee starting minutes, publicly and contractually, leaving no doubt she's a core piece. 3. Publicly acknowledge her importance, showing fans, players, and the league that Lexie Hull is indispensable. Anything less? It's not just a risk, it's a failure. And here's the emotional truth. Lexie Hull doesn't forget disrespect. Every benching, every slight, every overlooked moment has been stored and processed. She knows her worth. She knows what she brings. She will not settle for less. Indiana cannot assume she'll stay quietly, loyally, or out of obligation. That era is over. Her patience has run out. Fans, think about what you've seen on the court. Hustle plays, clutch threes, dives for loose balls, lockdown defense. Lexie Hull's impact is undeniable, yet the coach and front office prioritized ego, favoritism, and experimentation over reality. What could have been corrected with respect has now escalated into a crisis. And the domino effect? If Lexie Hull leaves, Indiana doesn't just lose her talent, they lose culture. Trust in coaching erodes, morale crumbles, chemistry fractures. Young players look around and ask, does loyalty matter? Does effort matter? Does the system reward the right things? If the answer is no, rebuilding becomes exponentially harder. Indiana isn't just losing a player, they're destabilizing the franchise. Now, let's talk clarity. Basley fam. Indiana's window isn't just about Kelsey Mitchell. Sure, she's talented. Sure, she's important. But what about the glue? The defensive anchor? The relentless warrior? The player who embodies sacrifice, leadership, and consistency? That's Lexie Hull. And Indiana's obsession with shiny newcomers, Bonner, Howard, has put them at risk of losing the real core of this team. Decisive action isn't optional, it's critical. Stephanie White has to act publicly and contractually. Guarantee Lexie Hull's role, reward her contributions, acknowledge her value. Anything less, and Lexie walks. No turning back. Contrast it one more time. The hyped newcomers were promised everything. Many didn't deliver. Yet Lexie, the one who consistently delivered, sacrificed, and proved herself every game, was marginalized. That isn't just mismanagement. That's a fundamental misunderstanding of what builds championship teams. Teams don't bench their hardest-working, most selfless, most effective players. They nurture them, protect them, and reward them. Basley fam, the lesson is clear. This isn't just about one player or one coach. It's about organizational vision, leadership, and priorities. Ignore the players who make your team succeed, like Lexie Hull, and you destabilize everything. Every game, every season, every negotiation reflects your judgment. And when those players leave, the consequences are profound. Fractured culture, lost talent, wasted years. The ultimate truth? Lexie Hull is a warrior. She's battled injuries, bruises, setbacks, and disrespect. She doesn't chase glory. She doesn't need validation. But she demands respect. She knows her worth. And the moment Indiana fails to provide that, the league will step in. Max contracts, guaranteed starts, recognition. Every team that understands winning will be ready to take her. Indiana? They'll be left wondering how a cornerstone slipped through their fingers. And the fans? They see it. They know who carries the team when things get messy, who fights for every possession, every minute, every win. That's Lexie Hull. If she leaves because of negligence, fans lose faith, morale dips, and the organization's reputation suffers. The message to the league, the players, the supporters is crystal clear. Indiana failed to recognize true value when it was staring them right in the face. So here's the final call to action. Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever must act decisively, immediately, and transparently. Offer Lexie Hull the contract she deserves. Guarantee her a starting role. Make it public. make it undeniable. And most importantly, make it clear to the league, the fans, and every player in that locker room, Lexie Hull is indispensable. She is valued. She is respected. Because if they fail to do this, Basley fam, make no mistake, they risk losing more than a player. They risk losing the soul of the team, the culture they've worked to build, and the trust of every player who looks at the bench and wonders, does loyalty matter? Does hard work matter? Does sacrifice matter? And Lexie Hull? She'll find a team that does see her value. She'll find a team that rewards her contributions, respects her leadership, and guarantees her role. She'll step into that system and thrive, just as she always has, and Indiana will be left watching the very player who carried them escape their grasp, and they'll have no one to blame but themselves. So, Basley fam, here's the reality. This offseason isn't about one player. It's about accountability, leadership, respect, and recognition. Lexie Hull has earned every bit of it, and if Indiana doesn't deliver, the consequences will echo for seasons to come. The league sees it, the fans see it, the players see it, and Lexie Hull knows it. The clock is ticking, decisions must be made, and history will judge how this organization responds. The bottom line? Stephanie White created this mess, but it's not too late to fix it. Offer respect, offer recognition, offer security. Keep the player who has given everything, who has sacrificed everything, and who embodies what makes championship teams succeed. Because if they fail, Indiana won't just lose a player. They'll lose the heart, the soul, and the future of the franchise. And that, Basley fam, is the real crisis facing the Indiana Fever this offseason.